Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Valerie Haslam and I am a Creative Associate with the Arts Council and I work full-time in graphic design. I am here with you all today to introduce you to the Creative Schools programme. St Bridget's National School was successful in its application to the programme, and together we will work to develop a framework that will support St Bridget's as a creative school now and into the future. Thank you to Michelle and Grace for inviting me to talk to you today. Over the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to talk to you all about the Creative School Planning Framework. We will talk about creative conversations and the voice of the child, what current legislation exists on the rights of the child. We'll look at what is creativity and creativity in education, as well as how do we teach creativity. I have a couple of questions for you to answer to get you thinking about creativity. We're going to look at storytelling and how it fits with education and creativity. We're going to look at what creativity is in your school, as well as how to direct creativity with children. After all this, we will be considering our next steps. So, what is a creative school? How do we determine methods to develop creativity within the classroom and help you deliver your plan in line with this? What is the Creative School Planning Framework? The framework plan will be an aid to support important conversations with the wider school community, including children and young people, school leaders and families. This allows your school to make considered decisions on the design and delivery of all activities and to report on progress to the Arts Council. The quality of the conversation is what is important here, and the plan is the net to capture the good conversations that will happen in the school between the partners. My role as a creative associate is to support these conversations and work with Grace, your creative coordinator, to help develop this plan. We will need to understand your current engagement with creativity, your understanding of creativity and how it is developed, the artistic and creative experiences and interests of your school community, students, teachers, school leaders and families, of course, in and out of school, and how they could be developed further. We need to understand the current opportunities for children and young people to participate in decision making in your school and how this could be enhanced. We also need to understand the resources in your school and within your wider community. By carrying out this analysis, your school will establish a clear focus for its work as a creative school. I will support the analysis, drawing on practical experience of creativity and responding to your school's development priorities and needs. I may deliver practical creative workshops or initiate meaningful conversations that can engage participants to investigate creativity in your school. We must ensure the involvement of children and young people in decision making from the outset. We need to involve as many members of the school community as possible. That includes the children, young people, teachers and staff, school management, parents, guardians, families, artists, creative practitioners, and the wider community. We also need to look at 3 key areas in the school environment. Firstly, children and young people. Secondly, teaching and learning. And third, leadership and management. This is all for the school's use only and does not have to be submitted to the Arts Council. Sir Ken Robinson said once that the role of a creative leader is not to have all of the ideas. It is to create a culture where everyone can have ideas and feel that they are valued. Leadership that is demonstrated to each other is very important in the challenging times we are faced with now. Why do you do the work you do? So, what do we need to talk about? We need to consider all of the questions that are part of the plan and the framework. Together we can explore and agree creative ways to involve the whole school community in these conversations. And by doing all of this, we will ensure that we have fully investigated the school's current engagement with the arts and creativity. Our findings for each section within the framework are briefly recorded. These will be invaluable when we are putting together the full plan. Once we have the plan in place, then we can begin implementing it. Consulting with children and involving them in all aspects of decision making is expected. The voice of the child is expected to be heard in decisions made in their local communities now. in decision-making in education, schools and the wider education system, in decisions on their health and well-being, as well as in the courts and legal systems. Ireland is leading the way. We are the first country in the world to have a government strategy on children and young people's participation in decision-making. The Department of Education and Science has committed to this participation, and curriculum reform will have been informed by consultation with young people. All government departments and agencies and everyone that works with children will develop child and youth-friendly feedback and complaints mechanisms through Hub na Nóg. Data collection, evaluation and monitoring of children and young people's participation initiatives will be conducted to ensure robust findings and outcomes that influence the development of policies and services. There is a review of current practices on student participation in the inspection process and mechanisms for consulting with students on matters relevant to them in regard to teacher education and other matters identified, all by the Department of Education. The Committee on the Rights of the Child has listed 4 general principles: the elimination of discrimination, the best interest of the child, the right of the child to life, survival and development, and the right of the child to be heard. Under the right of the child to be heard, state parties shall assure to the child who is capable of forming his or her own views the right to express those views freely in all matters affecting the child, the views of the child being given due weight in accordance with the age and maturity of the child. Under Article 31, General Comment 17, state parties recognise the right of the child to rest and leisure, to engage in play and recreational activities appropriate to the age of the child, and to participate freely in cultural life and the arts. State parties, schools, shall respect and promote the right of the child to participate fully in cultural and artistic life, and shall encourage the provision of appropriate and equal opportunities for cultural, artistic, recreational and leisure activity. What is creativity? Very simply, creativity solves problems. It is helping children believe in their strengths, realising their capabilities, inspiring and empowering children with that aha feeling, making sense of things around them, recognising their abilities and capabilities, helping the child understand and comprehend what it can be surprising. It is the spark, that aha moment. Children are born curious. They learn by doing, building, storytelling, cooking, making. We can connect creativity to everyday life, and it can make learning more exciting and engaging, ultimately more fun. We as educators must pose questions and challenges and follow it up with an opportunity for reflection and maybe solitude for the creative process to be most effective. We must promote that spark, that aha moment. There are no limits to creative possibilities. Consider this. What is teaching creativity? Creativity can be taught as long as there is a criteria that is relevant to the age and maturity of the child. Criteria for a 5-year-old's drawing would be different to the criteria for judging the Sistine Chapel. In thinking about how I can support creative learning from a distance, I have key questions. How will we design experiences that are inclusive of the children's choices? What can we do and how do we do it? What guidance and resources will the children need to explore? creating and exploring is demanding, how will we make time and space for it in our everyday lives? What do children already know and care about, and how could their experiences inspire them? How can we design experiences which meet children at their skill level, including practical and technical skills? Can we invite children to ask their own questions, which may spark wonder and delight and intrinsically motivate them? How can we document and reflect on learning and progress with the children? If there is a product or creation, how can we share and use it among the children? And how can the experience and each child's learning be transferred to other activities? How do we reach them? In this climate, with the restrictions and blended learning that we're all facing, we must look at ways to help families and parents facilitate creativity through learning and through websites like Help My Kid Learn.
From the moment they're born, kids start to soak things up like a sponge. Exploring, playing, copying you, asking why. That's the way they learn and grow and grow and grow. Learning doesn't just happen in school, it happens everywhere. At home, out and about, from breakfast to bedtime. Every time you talk, play, read, write and count together, they understand the world better. So whether you know it or not, you're one of your kids' most important teachers.
Original ideas have value. I have a couple of questions for you all. I want you all to consider, what do each of you believe creativity is? How does this program make you feel? Has anyone read this book? Sometimes taking the first step is hardest.
Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. "There!" Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, "Now, sign it." Vashti thought for a moment. "Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name." At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me."
What about creativity in your school? Can theatre and creativity empower your young people's voices? How observing the world around you can be the first step to becoming a great actor. Lost, Found and Told, this digital storytelling project has a focus on supporting children's emotional resilience. This project was a wonderful resource for inclusion in a recovery curriculum supporting children and staff.
Oh, hello. How are you? Oh, I'm Zoe, by the way. I've been having a good route round in this here cupboard under the stairs, and look, I found the next part of the story. Once there was a village in a valley in Northumberland. On the edge of the village lived a foolish farmer who had a clever daughter. He boasted that she could perform miracles, turn bad milk good, barren fields to lush meadows. Bye. Oh, look out for that mouse. See if it follows me out. Bye.
This Star Wars film was made because my nephew Ralph really wanted to be a Jawa. Both are very big fans of Star Wars, and his dad had the animation skills to actually make him one. This sci-fi adventure was developed by the three children themselves, who wrote the story, directed the video, and had input into how their insects would look. They were three bug pilots battling a deadly butterfly monster right in their very own back garden. Creativity can be explored through dance. The Welcoming Project, which was created for Culture Night 2020 by Catherine Young in Kerry, explores dance from many different cultures. Through music, children can also explore their creativity. From playing to composing, there are many different opportunities.
Mi nombre es Ada Maribel Ríos Bogado, tengo 13 años y toco el violín.
Me llamo Juan Manuel Chávez, más conocido como Baby, tengo 19 años y toco el cello. Este cello está hecho de una lata de aceite, la madera tirada en la basura y las clavijas son de una vieja cuchara para golpear la carne y para hacer el ñoquis. Y suena así.
Una comunidad como Caldeura no es un lugar para tener un violín. De hecho, un violín cuesta más que su casa.
En ese grupo acá mismo encontramos el colador de violín. Y de ese empezamos los instrumentos reciclados. no pensaba antes que yo voy a hacer ese instrumento. Y me siento demasiado feliz cuando estoy viendo a un niño que está tocando un violín reciclado.
Cuando ya escucho el sonido del violín, siento como mariposa en el estómago, así una sensación que no sé cómo voy a explicar.
Bueno, la orquesta de instrumentos reciclados es una orquesta que toca instrumentos hechos con la basura.
Through puppetry, whether complicated or very simple, homemade or professionally made, children can act out games, activities, stories, using the puppets and their imagination.
Do you read me? Come in, please.
Mission 1 to ground control. Receiving you loud and clear.
Prepare to engage transmission. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Knowles, where on earth is McCork?
That's the thing, Colin. I'm not on Earth at all.
I'm in space.
Wow. And we're live from space in 10, 9, 8, 7.
This is brain free.
Whether we like it or not, creativity is part of our lives. Embracing creativity opens up a world of visual art, building, creating, drawing, coding, gardening, architecture, graphic design, branding. There are so many possibilities.
My first dream, I wanted to be a great inventor. I actually had a few pretty good ideas. Really good invention, it makes the world more awesome. Because the world is full of problems. There's also lots of problem solvers.
Showing you how to express form through values in a quite a simple way that you can do it pretty much any medium.
Hi, Brian from Junior Gardeners here. I've managed to get my hands on a pack of sunflower seeds.
What do you do with a big box of Lego bricks? Which got me thinking about real skyscrapers. Could you make one out of Lego bricks?
Hi, I am Andrea, and I am Diane. Hi, I am Alice, and I am the snake. Hi, I am Andrea, and I am the fox. Hello, I am Pippi, and I am Gruffalo. Pablo, and I am the mouse.
Are born learners. We crave new challenges and new adventures. Our creativity is limitless. And when we learn through play, amazing, often unexpected things happen. In schools and in homes around the world, students are using Minecraft to build cities, explore coral reefs, to create with code, run science experiments, and to tell fantastic stories.
Lastly, this exercise in creative thinking shows us how our prescription of creativity can limit the process within children themselves. The next step for our Creative School programme is to engage with the children at all levels. I know with current restrictions it may not go according to plan, but I am putting together a set of videos similar to this one to introduce myself to each of your classes and to explore what creativity is and what a creative school could mean to them. I will work with your creative coordinator to devise an age-appropriate creative exercise that aims to understand what makes your children happy, what they enjoy, how they show creativity, incorporating words, pictures, photographs and the like. Or maybe they can submit them via Seesaw to each teacher, who can then forward them on to me if we are still working remotely. Once we have collated all the children's input to the programme as well as the wider school community, we will develop the framework and put the plan in place to implement it over the coming 18 months. I am very excited and looking forward to working with you all and your wonderful school. Thank you for your time.